Welcome back to video number 2 in our series on building a pole position game on Scratch. In video 1, we added some controls to our player sprite so we can move around the screen, the up, down, and left arrow. If you need to take a look at the screen to make sure your code still matches, then please do that, and we're going to get started. So to begin, we're going to go to Stage over here on the right, and then up to Backdrops. You'll notice we have a button at the bottom for adding some new backdrops. You're going to hover your mouse here and click the paintbrush. And you're going to keep clicking that paintbrush until you have 4 backdrops to look at here on the side. 1, 2, 3, 4. The first one, you're going to click on that tile that says backdrop 1. And here on the right, where it says costume, you can rename this to say game menu. In a later video, we'll put a title on this screen and put some sprites to click on to choose our levels. But for now, it's going to say game menu. It's just going to be a placeholder. We're going to name the second tile that says backdrop 2. Backdrop 2. We're going to name that track 1. Name our next tile in the list track 2. And name the last backdrop track 3. Now for our pole position game, most of our tracks we're going to design using what's called the Bitmap. So you should go ahead and click Convert to Bitmap. So you have these 8 tools here to look at. You'll notice on track 2 there are 9 tools here. We're on Vector. So we're going to click Convert to Bitmap. So we have these 8 tools. You'll notice they kind of have some pixels, some dots on them. And do that same thing with track number 3. So to begin on track 1, what I'd like you to do is make sure you're zoomed out so you can see the frame of the box. This is the stage. Anything you draw here, you'll be able to see in the game field, what's called the stage. We're going to choose our circle tool. We're going to go up to fill, and drag our slider over so that we are looking at black. And instead of filled, you'll notice if I were to draw a circle on the screen, this will have a solid circle. And we can hit the back arrow to go back. We don't want a solid circle. We want an outlined circle. And I'm going to start from the top left corner and just drag my mouse across the screen till I get to a point where I have an oval, an ellipse that fills the screen. There is the outside of the track. And then going to click out of there so I now have the chance to draw a new circle on the inside. We're going to draw a circle just over the middle a little bit, like this. Now we have our track. We need some colors. So I'm going to go to my paint bucket and up to fill. And we need to put white back into our color palette. It's like if we're working with watercolors or something, we need to have white in there so we can brighten up our colors. Now we can choose. I want you to first pick a color that will be the outside of the track. Let's say I have a beetle and he's crawling in the grass, but maybe when he's on a darker black color like the outside, it's going to slow him down. Maybe he's fast in the grass, but not maybe in some mud. That's kind of a brown, but I'm going to stick with that for now. The outside, I've used my paint bucket to fill the whole outside. I'm also going to fill the inside, little tiny circle here. We're going to make it so that if my beetle touches that area, it's going to slow him down. Right now, I can push my arrow keys on my keyboard, click the green flag, and I can crawl around on my screen, but nothing happens when I touch the outside. Please make sure you pause the video if you need to get your colors right, but I'm going to go ahead and keep moving along here. I'm going to choose a color for the inside of my track, and I'll go with this. Alright, there's the inside of my track. I've got a brown on the inside and green for the edges and green for the little center. It's the center part, which will slow me down. Alright, Also, we need to draw a couple of lines. So you're going to go to the line tool here, which looks like a piece of dry spaghetti, and up to fill to choose a color. You need to choose a color that's different than the track colors you've chosen, and something that you can easily see. I'm going to choose a bright green, and notice I just made this little mistake right there. There's a little green dot. Well, I don't just grab my eraser tool and start erasing, because I'll erase my track. That's a mistake. So this arrow right here says undo. You can click that one step at a time, and it'll undo your mistakes. So if I want to draw my line, well, I don't want a line for my start line to look crooked and not very neat. So I'm going to undo that again, and I'm going to take my time and draw a nice straight line down. Okay. Notice I missed a little bit there, so I'm going to fix that. Pause the video if you need, but what we're going to do is draw a line down at the bottom and a line with another color up at the top, like this. Okay, we got two lines. That's pretty good. Might zoom in a little bit just to fix this, but get your lines how you want them. Make sure they're different colors than the rest of your track, and we are ready to move on. This would be a good time to click Save Now in the top corner, and let's go back to Code, and you can do that by this tab up here in the top left, Code, and make sure you're back on your player sprite. Click on this player sprite icon here. We're going to code our game so that if our player touches the outside color or that little bump in the middle, it slows us down. So you're going to go to Sensing, which is light blue on the left here, your categories, and get this block that says Touching Color. Put the left side into that empty shape. It's just the easiest way I know how to do it. The very edge where it lights up white and it'll snap in there. Then you're going to use your eye color or your eyedropper tool. So with your mouse, click on that color, and then you're going to click on this little eyedropper right here. It's a squeeze bottle. And you're going to go over to the stage and squeeze the slowdown color. In my case, it's green. It's the outside. If I go off the track or I hit this bump in the middle, it slows me down. So I'll do that again. Color, eyedropper, choose the color, and then the last block is inside of Control. And you want the block that's at the top that says Wait. Now that says wait 1 second. If I were to go off the track and touch that color, it's going to make me wait a whole second before it'll start to move again. That's too long. You can see that there on the screen. So instead, you're going to delete that number 1, change that to 0.2. So period, and then the number 2. Now, when I'm pushing my arrow keys, it makes me wait for just a moment before I can start moving again. And if I go off the track and I touch that color, it slows me down a little bit. And then I can start racing again. Okay, that's it for video number 2 on designing track 1 and the last little bit of your player controls here so that you can start to play your game. Hope you enjoyed that video. Pause it, go back, rewatch it if you need help. In video 3, we're going to set up our game menu so we can actually switch to track 1 and keep moving along. Have fun and good luck.